So next time you pop a synthetic aspirin for a headache, consider this. The exact same chemical curing your headache is actively eating away at your stomach lining.
Right. Yeah, which is wild to think about.
It really is. But centuries ago, traditional healers had a version of this exact medicine that did the exact opposite. Today, we're taking a deep dive into this massive stack of sources to uncover how modern science is, well, finally catching up to ancient wisdom. We're looking at how the ultimate pharmacy and honestly the most efficient grocery store might just be growing right there in your own backyard.
Exactly. And it really challenges our modern assumptions. I mean, we've been trained to believe that the most effective health solutions have to come from, a sterile laboratory.
Yeah, totally.
But before plants were industrialized, they were our essential survival tools. And looking at the clinical evidence we have here, it's clear that modern medicine has spent the last century trying and sometimes failing to copy them.
Well, let's unpack this by starting with that aspirin contradiction, because the history here is incredibly revealing. I mean, we think of aspirin as this ultimate triumph of modern chemistry,
Oh, sure.
but it actually originates from a wild plant called meadowsweet.
Precisely. Meadowsweet contains naturally occurring salicylates, which is the foundational compound that synthetic aspirin is based on.
Okay, right.
Traditional herbalists used it for centuries to treat severe pain and fevers. But unlike synthetic aspirin, which is notoriously bad for causing stomach ulcers, traditional healers used meadowsweet because it relieves pain while actively soothing stomach inflammation.
Wow. So isolating salicylic acid from meadowsweet is kind of like pulling the engine out of a car and just leaving the brakes behind.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it.
Like, sure, it goes fast, but eventually you're going to crash, which in this case is a stomach ulcer. But wait, I have to push back here a bit.
Go for it.
If meadowsweet was so perfectly balanced, why didn't pharmaceutical companies just farm meadowsweet? Why go through the expensive trouble of synthesizing it in a lab if nature already perfected it?
Well, what's fascinating here is the underlying economics and patent law. You see, you can't easily patent a wild, unadulterated plant.
Ah, of course. Always the money.
Always. Pharmaceutical companies isolated just that one active pain-relieving compound because a single molecule is cheap, it's easy to mass produce, and crucially, it's easy to patent.
That makes sense, yeah.
In nature, meadowsweet is a complex, whole plant formulation. It contains natural buffering cofactors like tannins and mucilage that actually coat and protect the stomach lining. Nature had already perfectly balanced the medicine, but we broke it apart entirely for the sake of industrial scale and intellectual property.
Okay, let's unpack this. If isolating a single molecule made aspirin easier to mass produce, that exact same obsession with mass-scale logistics is what blinded us to the most efficient food sources on Earth.
Yes, that is the crucial link right there. I mean, these highly valuable plants didn't disappear from our culture because they lacked value or nutrition.
Yeah.
They vanished simply because they couldn't be harvested by standard combine tractors or, they didn't look right on a supermarket shelf.
Yeah.
We sacrifice profound nutritional power for logistical convenience.
Which brings us directly to duckweed. Most people see it covering a stagnant pond and just dismiss it as pond scum. But structurally, it is an absolute biological marvel.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, NASA has literally researched this plant for deep space missions because of its unbelievable efficiency.
And the mechanism behind that efficiency is brilliant. Duckweed grows incredibly fast because, unlike corn or wheat, it doesn't waste energy building stalks or deep roots to fight gravity.
Huh, I never really thought of it that way.
Yeah, it just floats. It dedicates 100% of its biology to photosynthesis and absorbing nutrients directly from the water. Because of this, it's the fastest growing plant on Earth, doubling its biomass in just 24 to 48 hours.
That is insane.
And nutritionally, it sits at an astonishing 40 to 45% protein by dry weight.
Wow. And it isn't just floating plants rewriting the rules of agriculture. You also have moringa, known as the miracle tree, which can shoot up 15 feet in its very first year.
Right, the growth rate is staggering.
But here's where it gets really interesting for you out there listening.
Yeah.
These ignored weeds are now literal gold mines for smart growers. Because the health market is shifting, moringa leaves are currently selling for $20 to $40 a pound.
Yeah, the demand is huge now.
And duckweed is fetching up to $60 a pound for premium protein powders.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, you can see a massive shift from traditional industrial agriculture to specialized nutritional farming. Modern supermarket produce is notoriously bred for size and shelf life, leaving it pretty nutritionally bankrupt.
Which we all kind of feel, right?
Exactly. So consumers are now willing to pay a massive premium for the concentrated bioavailable nutrients found in plants like moringa. Early adopters are capitalizing on this by completely bypassing the massive tractors and focusing on high-yield, small-footprint crops that deliver intense nutritional density.
It totally changes your perspective. The next time you look at your driveway and see a weed pushing up through the cracks, I really want you to look at it differently.
Yeah, definitely.
The weeds you've been spraying or yanking out of the dirt might just be a natural first aid kit or an insanely profitable superfood.
It completely reorients how you interact with the natural world. It forces you to realize that nature is an active, highly advanced laboratory of its own.
It really does. And I want to leave you with this. If nature already engineered perfectly balanced solutions for pain relief and hyper-efficient sources of protein centuries ago, what other complex modern problems are we desperately trying to solve in a sterile lab that already have simple answers waiting quietly in the dirt?